Ooh, wow, it's cold. Why don't y'all come with me on a walk? I want to show y'all something. You know, it's a beautiful day, but even in the middle of beautiful days, sometimes you're gonna come across areas that have a lot of trash in your life. Sometimes we're gonna go through challenging times and challenging situations. But even with that, and I know I talked about earlier about going after your goals and dealing with excuses, you want to have the tenacity of trusting God so much that you are fully persuaded and accomplishing the things that you want to do for Him. You want to be fully persuaded in what you want to do for Him. If you're not totally committed to it and fully persuaded in it, then why should somebody else believe in a dream that you don't even believe in? Sometimes we want people to invest in us and we're not willing to invest in ourselves. We're not willing to put in the time ourselves. And sometimes we do put in that time, but sometimes when we're putting in that time, we're not doing it wisely. We haven't even thought about why we're doing what we do. I'm straightening some signs out here. Okay, it's getting cold. But how committed are you to going after the dreams that you want to accomplish? How committed are you to doing that? You see the sun shining over my shoulder. God is always in your corner. And just because you don't see Him doesn't mean that He's not there. Now, I am intentionally walking out here like this because there are going to be times that we feel alone. But you still got to walk that journey. You got to want your dream and want to bless your family more than the obstacle that's in front of you. Some people say, well, Porter, why you like football so much? I like football because there's always going to be an obstacle in front of you, and you have to come up with a game plan to address that. And the more and quicker you make your adjustments, that's generally, and the more you're willing to work as a team, generally those are the ones that win the game. So at halftime, do you make an adjustment? During the timeout, do you make an adjustment? How committed are you to your dream? It's cold out here. It's hot out here. It's windy out here. It may be whatever. It may be any type of year, any place in the world. God is always there. Go after your dream and use that dream in a manner that glorifies Him. I saw a video maybe a couple of days ago that talked about the number of children that are dying every day. And they said, how can a God do this? God put mankind, that's man and woman, on this earth to manage and work the earth in a manner that glorifies Him. Man has abused that, and not just the children that are alive, but also the children that have been aborted. And I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying we have to start where we are, glorifying God, because in that video it says, you know, what kind of God is this? If God, and when God comes back and deals with it, depending on our relationship with Him, some of us may not want to see Him. Look, Jesus died to give us all the opportunity to make a change and to change our lives. Jesus got up from the grave with all power in His hands, so you and I can get up with all power in our hands. We can get up to overcome any situation. Sometimes we give up too quick. We give up too quick on a relationship. We give up too quick on the way we deal with our finances. We give up too quick on anything, and then we say, well, God didn't do this. No, the Lord has blessed you where you committed to follow through that thing. Look, Let me give you an example. Sometimes you all hear me talk about wanting to be a millionaire. And I had to forgive myself. I had to ask my family to forgive me. That had I, when I started working, put aside and invested $100 every time I got paid. I'm talking about when I became an adult and started working as an adult. And let that just keep doing it. Let that habit keep going on, keep going on, keep going on, keep going on. You know, even if I had did $50 a pay period until I was the age of 67, I would have had close to $1 million based off compounded interest and investing in the long term. But Porter, how does this apply now? Because Porter, it's hard coming up with that kind of money, you know? And I know it is. I'm just talking about me. I don't know about you. I'm just sharing what I've gone through, and maybe it'll bless you. Every time on a weekend where I spent money getting drunk or partying, sometimes to get in some of these clubs, you pay $20, $25 to get in the club. Suppose I would have just put even a little of that away. Just put it away for long-term savings. Long-term is longer than 20 years. You're going to put it away for longer than 20 years. You're not going to even try to get it it is sooner than that. If I'd had that discipline, it would have been a bigger reward for me than that short-term so-called reward. There's some nights I don't even remember what I did. So how much fun did I have if I don't remember what I did? I'm just having a conversation with you. So let me go on the money thing again. Every time you get some money, because money is a servant to you. Don't be a servant to it. Money is a servant to you. When you invest that money and it earns interest, that's basically your servant giving birth to additional servants to serve you. So every time you get some money, before you pay any bills, every time you get some money, you put 10% aside for the Lord. You put 10% aside for your long-term investment. Then you put 10% aside for your short-term investment. A short-term investment means you don't plan on getting it before 5 years. Then you put 5% aside for a cushion fund. What you want to do with that cushion fund is build that cushion fund up to about where it handles 2 or 3 months. And anytime you get to that level, then you start putting it into the short term, any excess into the short term. And then that leaves you with about 65%. You work out that you live within that 65% of your income and try not to spend more than 64%. I'm not saying you'll be a millionaire. I can't guarantee that, and I won't guarantee that. I'm just saying invest in yourself. Pay yourself. Many of us are working these jobs and we're not paying ourselves. We're paying everybody else, but not ourselves, and we're not giving anything to God. Sometimes it's cold outside. Sometimes it rains. Doesn't mean you're not blessed. I'll talk to you later, and thank you for the conversation. Thank you. Peace.